Okay, this place is a mess. It's driving me crazy, but we're gonna live with it. This is mostly dry. I'm gonna take the pins out and flip it because sometimes the other side needs some drying time. So today is my birthday. I'm still going to work, but because I worked extra hours on my travel days earlier this week, I do get to leave early. That's a nice little silver lining. This is holding well. As I take the pins out, it's holding its shape well. I find that reassuring. It's pretty dry. I'm going to leave it out just because there's no need to wrap it right this minute, but I'm going to wrap it right when I get home, and I'm going to wrap all their other gifts too because they haven't wrapped anything. I didn't finish the balaclava last night, but I finished the neck and bound off the neck, so I just have to do the ribbing around the face opening. Let's do my advents. All right, let's do the nail polish first. Oh, I did do my nails last night. Can you see them? The little gingerbread man. Like a little pen. Oh, cuticle serum. That's nice. I will definitely use that. I used the little nail polish remover pot that came with the calendar last night to take off the pink polish before I put on these press-ons, and it was incredible. I didn't expect much of it, but honestly, I've never used a nail polish remover that came off that quickly and cleanly. So I'm gonna stand up to open this for the camera because they're so pretty. I want you to be able to see the little boxes every day. So I'm opening this way, I think. Cute little guy. It's an enamel pin. Oh, I love that. I'm gonna bring that to work, I think.
So my birthday gift from Josh was a new smartwatch because I've been using a smartwatch for the past few years and I broke it a few weeks ago and it was unfortunately not something that could be repaired. So Josh got a good deal on this one on Black Friday and I did find out about it. He had to tell me because I was talking about buying myself a replacement watch. But I knew it was coming, but I only opened it up and set it up last night. And it's way cooler than my old watch. But the most exciting feature of it that I can't get over is that I can control the camera from my watch, which I film all of these videos entirely on my phone. I don't have a separate camera for filming, and it takes a long time to set up a shot, which is often why my shots are kind of sloppy if I'm vlogging, because I have to set up the camera, but then I can't see where I will be in the frame because I have to be on the other side of my phone, because a phone doesn't have a monitor that you can flip around like a camera does. So I'm like setting up the phone and then filming a little bit and running around to where I will be and kind of blocking it out and then coming back and stopping it and watching it back and then making an adjustment and doing that all again until I get it to a point where I'm happy with it. And now I don't have to do that because I can actually see the video on my phone. Are you ready for this? So it's, look at, oh my gosh, it's gonna be like Inception, but I can see the video that's filming on my phone. There's like a fraction of a second delay, but I can set up the shots and see what the shot looks like on my wrist while I'm doing it. And my cheeks hurt from smiling. Like, this changes so much and makes filming so easy for me. And there's a lot of other features on this watch that are really nice and that I'm very excited about, but this is definitely the best one. So, like I mentioned yesterday, because I worked extra earlier this week, I got to leave a little early today. So it was nice to walk in the sunshine for once, not at sunset. But I was texting Josh as I was walking home and kind of realized that he had a free moment on his lunch break and he was able to pick me up before I even got on the bus and drive me the rest of the way home. So I had a little lunch. I've been hanging out with some pups. Good boy. And we're just kind of chilling out. It's a nice, relaxing afternoon. I am nearly done with the balaclava. It looks really silly right now because it's scrunched up on the needles. I basically have like one more row to do, and then I will bind off and sew it down, and then I'll be all done. So I am going to finish that before I wrap the gifts, because that's one of the gifts I need to wrap. But I do want to tidy up a bit in here too. A large portion of the tidying that I want to do is the dining room, which is largely cluttered with Christmas gifts. So that's something else that should wait. However, I want to wash the guest room duvet cover because our cats hang out in there a lot, and that it just tends to get a lot of cat hair on it. And even though we washed it 2 weeks ago when these friends were here, I want to wash the cover for them again. So a little bit of tidying and then a little more knitting and another cozy afternoon until I'm going to make us some dinner. So Josh gets out of work at 6. We have plans to meet our friends not in town. It's about a half-hour drive from here at about 7. So I'm going to try to have dinner ready as soon as possible when Josh is coming home so that we can eat pretty quick and go hang out with our friends for my birthday. So I will probably not be doing much talkie vlogging after this, but I will try to take as much footage as I can this evening and tomorrow, and we can catch up again tomorrow. So I hope you've been enjoying some of the footage I took over the weekend. It's been really, really hectic, and I know I have not vlogged very much at all. So this one is going to be the longest one yet. I think I'm bundling 4 days into this video. It was really busy. We were visiting with friends. There was no way I was going to properly vlog this weekend. So let's do a little recap now, and then I can give you a little update on my projects. So I think I left you off on Friday afternoon because it was my birthday. My friends were on their way up from the city, and we headed out and we met them at this cute little Christmas exhibit, sort of. There is this historic site that is called Lorenzo Historic Site, I believe. It's owned and operated by New York State. It's just a mansion from a couple hundred years ago. I believe it was built at the turn of the 19th century, and it's still furnished, and it effectively is a museum for the region. And it was really cute. We'd never been there before. They do this Christmas exhibit where they decorate the whole thing, and this was the 50th year. So I guess they typically have a theme for the whole mansion, but the theme this year was past themes. So every room had a different theme that was based on one of the overall themes that they've done in the past. And they capped it all off with a little horse-drawn carriage ride, which was really cute. It was a really short ride around the property, but it was really fun to see the horses and hear about them. And it was a beautiful, clear night. And we had a great time walking around and experiencing that. And then we went to a bar where I completely forgot to take any footage, but we just had a couple drinks and some nachos at a local bar, and then came back to our house and talked for a bit and ended up going to bed at a reasonable hour that day because we knew we had the whole next day to spend together. So on Saturday, our friends were here because they stayed over. We always see them on my birthday weekend. We usually go down to the city or they come up here. This time they came up, obviously. We did our gift exchange with them because since we always see them my birthday weekend, we always do our Christmas with each other that weekend. So we had fun doing our little gift exchange. I did finish the balaclava in time. Finished it Friday afternoon and wove in the ends. I didn't block it or anything, but it's, a pretty tight fitting little thing. I don't think it needed a block particularly. And he liked it and he tried it on and it fit, and I think it was successful. And actually they both were wearing things that I've knit them in the past. He has like this brioche hat that I made him before that he loves that he was wearing all weekend. And my friend was wearing a cardigan that I knit for her a few years ago on Friday. So that was fun to see. It's always nice to see your hand knits in the wild, you know. So after we did our little gift exchange, we decided to go out for brunch. And we were going to go to a local diner, but it was very busy. So we ended up going to the Cheesecake Factory, which is tried and true. And we had a nice little brunch there. And we ended up popping into a couple places in the mall where the Cheesecake Factory is, but our ultimate goal was to go to this Christmas market at the New York State Fairgrounds. It was advertised online as like a Christmas craft show. And that's not what I would say. I get the impression that it's a company that organizes these and goes around the country, and it's sort of this third-party company that charges people to do the logistics of it and just secures the venue for everything. I was disappointed by it because there was very few actual crafters or artisans that were selling. It was almost entirely people reselling stuff that they bought in bulk from China. And it wasn't like bad stuff, but it was a lot of like country farmhouse Christmas decor, and it was a lot of the same items in different booths, like fake greenery or little candelabras or candles, fake candle holder kind of things, and a lot of the same Christmassy items repeated over and over, and they weren't handmade. They were definitely all just like resellers, which a disappointing amount of the craft show was just resellers. There were a handful of crafters. There were a lot of small businesses like local wineries. There was a couple distilleries or things like that. But overall, there was not very many like actual handmade items. I think there was like less than 10 booths that I saw that were actually handcrafted items that were being sold. That said, a couple of them were really great, and I did make a couple purchases. I took some footage the other day when I first came home. One of the booths that was really excellent was this wood carver, and she was there selling the stuff herself, and she had just done a really beautiful job. There was so many. The largest selection was Christmas ornaments, and they're all shaped like different critters. But she had some other things too. I found this little hand-carved cat that I just love and I thought was so sweet. And I really appreciate the way that the markings in the wood were used to kind of create the facial features of the cat. And I also bought a little Stegosaurus hand-carved wooden Christmas tree ornament. Not that I don't already have like a dozen Stegosaurus Christmas tree ornaments, but I really loved those wooden ones. They were really pretty. My friend also bought a little raccoon from that stand. But then the only other purchase I made was there was this embroiderer, and her stuff was so pretty. She had a lot of different like decorative hoops or things, but she also had a lot of little like pouches and bags. She told me she designed the fabric herself. A lot of hand-stitched items. I was most drawn to the jewelry, and I ended up buying myself a pair of the earrings. They're kind of dangly. It's not the ones I'm wearing now. These were a birthday gift, but they're kind of the same size and shape. They're like dangly with a little circular hoop with a tiny little embroidered flower in the middle, and they're just so cute. Also of note, a place my friend shopped was a booth that had like miniatures, like for a dollhouse, but they were all like modern furniture, and it was just so cute to see more realistic things, because so often dollhouse furniture is very traditional furniture. And I mean, like they had like the little cube baskets that like fit into IKEA Kallax units, and like they had like basically Kallax unit, like different bookshelves that would fit the cubes, or like media consoles that these little teeny baskets fit in. And I don't know, it was just adorable. I couldn't handle it. So there was a couple highlights. It was cute. Overall, I wouldn't recommend it because, like I said, it was largely just kind of like people reselling mass-produced stuff, which didn't interest me at all. And you did have to pay admission to get into this craft show. So I was kind of disappointed that we paid $8 a person and there were so few actual local artisans and crafters there. But the few that we did get to meet were really, really nice and created some really beautiful items. We came back home. No, we went to TJ Maxx. Just kidding. We went to TJ Maxx. We got coffee at Panera. We went to TJ Maxx and did a little shopping. And then we came home to decorate our gingerbread houses. So we were kind of sitting around. We were drinking wine. Our husbands had bought some wine from local wineries when they were wandering around the craft show. And we had a fun evening. My friend had expressed interest in learning guitar, which she had never had a guitar lesson before. And my husband just, I don't know, he used to play guitar. He used to teach guitar lessons, and he just kind of like jumped up and went and got his guitar from the basement, and he had to tune it because he hasn't touched it in years. But it was cute because they had a little impromptu guitar lesson. So for a while he was trying to teach her how to play guitar, and she was doing good. I mean, it was really cute, and they were clearly having a really, really good time. So that it was just, I think, one of those memories that's going to stick around for a while. Just, it was so cozy, and it was such a Christmas vibe, and they were, playing music together. It was really nice. Then a little while after that, we had dinner. We got takeout Chinese food and had dinner at home. And then my friend and I decorated our gingerbread houses, which was really fun. I don't think I ever even got footage of hers finished. It looked really good when it was finished. It took us hours. By the time we were done with them, we were tired, but we sat down on the couch and kind of just started chatting, and we basically chatted until like 3 a.m, which is not unusual. And it wasn't just she and I. My husband was there too. Her husband fell asleep hours before, but the three of us were staying up and watching music videos and like chatting until like 3 a.m. We got up in the morning at our normal time, so I hadn't slept very long at all. And they left pretty early, and then I had no energy left for anything. I don't think I filmed much footage at all yesterday. It might have literally just been the Advents. I was utterly exhausted. I was only up for an hour or two after they left, and then I fell asleep on the couch for like 3 hours. And then even when I woke up, I was so groggy and so lethargic and out of it. It took me a really long time. Eventually, I kind of did get back into the swing of things and wake up a little bit, and then went to bed at a normal time, and it ended up mostly balancing out. I don't think I'm caught up. I was really quite tired today, but it's a normal work day, so it is what it is. I had to go to work. So that said, let's talk about my projects for a little bit. I would like to acknowledge that I haven't done my embroidery advent in like over a week now. So I don't know if I'm going to. I want to have the finished things, but also every time I think about doing it, I think I have other things that I should be spending my time on instead, especially my Christmas knits. So I don't know how realistic it is. So I don't know. I'm looking at it right now, feeling guilty. So I finished the balaclava on Friday and got it all gift wrapped and everything before they even got up here. So that was great. So then I switched back over to the Vima collar, which is now done. I ended up, like I described, we were talking for a really long time on Saturday night after we finished our gingerbread houses. And that's when I finished off the back panel and bound off the thing and wove in all the ends while we were talking and did all the finishing. Obviously, it still needs a block. It's really scrunched in. The cables need to open up, but I'm very pleased with it. I think it came out really nice. I think it's exactly what I expected it to be. And I have already cast on the second Vima collar. If you're just joining us, I am making these for the same person. This is a gift from my mom. So this is a pattern by Sari Nordland, and this is 2 pattern. It is a DK weight pattern, and I held together a sock yarn from Hobie. All the details are always in the description. If you follow the link to my Ravelry, I keep track of all of the details of the yarns and the patterns and modifications that I make and needle sizes and everything there. So this one is made to pattern by holding that fingering weight double, and with the exception of the back panel is also supposed to have the cable motif, and I didn't have the attention span, I didn't have the bandwidth to do the cable pattern on the back. And also I think it's kind of pointless because the point of this collar is to wear it underneath something else, so you're probably never going to see the back. So I didn't want to spend my time on that. So I did the cable pattern on the front. I think it's really pretty. There was several cables in here that I've never done before, so that was nice. But the back, I just decided to do the moss stitch, and that's that. And I'm making a second one for my mom also, since this is kind of a small item, and I'm making it out of this really pretty fuchsia fluffy Barocco Vento. I have 2 of these in stash, and so this is the full quantity, and I don't know, I absolutely love finding a project that I have the exact quantity for, truly, because I have like guilt about splitting up larger quantities to make small things. So I tend to play yarn chicken more than anything else, just because I'd rather get the most out of my yarn and be the most efficient with it and try to make it go as far as possible. So when I find a project like this, when I have the exact amount that the pattern calls for in stash, and I also think it's a great choice, it's just like the best feeling of the stars aligning. So this, I believe, came from a Knitty Fix box, which is a sort of curated box that from my local yarn store, which is called Nitty Gritty Yarns. So the box is called the Knitty Fix, and that you purchase the box, and it's kind of like a subscription box, but it's not a subscription. You purchase them one at a time, and then you get this box full of like curated things that are mostly yarny things, but there's other goodies in there too, and they're really cute, and I've done a bunch of them in the past. I believe this came from one of those, and honestly, it's just not my color. I love the yarn itself. I love the fiber composition. It's so soft and fun to use. It says 50% baby alpaca, 40% acrylic, 10% wool. And I'm really, really enjoying working with it. I'm not a purple person. And my mom is a purple person. My mom really loves purple. I try not to make her purple things anymore because I've made her so many in the past. I feel like I've already given her so many hand knit purple things. Like, how many can one person need? However, this was just the perfect quantity. It's a really nice yarn. I think it's going to work so well for this accessory that I just decided to go for it. Plus I made her the gray one, which is a nice neutral. I think they'll go well together. So it's this super fluffy fuchsia with this great halo to it. And it is considered a DK weight, so I need to do anything special. I'm just holding it single for this. So I started this, like I said, yesterday when I was kind of coming out of my stupor from my afternoon nap. So you can see I've already finished the whole ribbed collar section. And I've started these little flaps on the side. So it's sort of a saddle shoulder construction. It's not even a full shoulder, so I don't know to call it that, but it's a saddle shoulder style of construction where you knit these flaps that extend out. They continue the same ribbing motif, so it's seamless, and go all the way out, and then you pick up stitches all along one flap, and you have the live stitches on the neck and all along the other flap to make the panels. So I'm pleased with how far along I've gotten on this. I only have a couple projects that I need to wrap up before Christmas to be able to gift. I feel like I'm very much on schedule. I don't have a lot of work to do. On these projects, they're relatively small things, or I have relatively few stitches left to do on each of them. I feel like I'm in a good place. Also, if you're wondering, got the stuff I think I need to make the knitting machine work. So I bought the drill adapter to make it easier to turn because I was having a hard time like doing the crank with my arm. But also a couple people in the comments, thank you for your suggestions, mentioned that I probably need to oil the machine because I was complaining about it being creaky. And I think that sounds correct. And it never occurred to me that you could oil this machine. I don't know why. I'm not an engineer. That wouldn't have popped into my head. But once somebody brought it up, I looked it up, and it was suggested that you use the clear stain, like dye-free, stain-free sewing machine oil. So they had it at Walmart in stock in town. So I sent my husband to Walmart the next day to get some of that, and I have it. So hopefully tomorrow or the next day we'll be able to try to get the knitting machine up and running and maybe do some of those knitting machine projects because that would knock a couple more things off my list. So coming up, we should be back to a relatively daily Vlogmas because I don't have any more like visits until Christmas Eve. So from now for the next full week, it's just a regular work week at home, hanging out, getting my stuff squared away for the holiday. So I think I'll be back to a better schedule where I'll be able to do this daily and no more distractions. The Vlogmas is the distraction from my life, not the other way around. That's not what I mean. But I'll be able to devote a little more of my attention to Vlogmas for the rest of the week. So thanks for sticking around, even though I've been a little bit of an absentee vlogger. And I can't wait to see you guys for the rest of December. Good night.
So for all my talk yesterday about being behind, I was still behind and never had enough time to finish editing the video last night and upload it. And I was just way too tired to force myself. So it's turned into a 5-day video, which I've never had to do before. But as I explained yesterday, it's going to settle out and be more of a daily thing from now on. It was just that yesterday I had no time. I didn't even have time to open my Advents this morning. I've already gone to work for the day. So basically I already made myself a cup of tea. I'm going to do my Advents, sit down, edit the whole big 5-day video. Probably won't have time to try to get the knitting machine going tonight, but because I'm doing the big edit today, I should be able to do that tomorrow. I'm also going to do my nails while I edit the video because I find that my nails come out best, like painted nails come out best when I do them during computer work, because then I'm truly not tempted to knit or do other handicrafts, and then I have a lot more time for them to dry and harden when I'm not messing with it. So
I think I'm going to use the green that came in the other day. Unless today has a better color, I'm going to use the green. Ooh, actually. Oh, this one's so pretty. It's like an iridescent, snowy white color. No, I want the green. I want the green. Now that that's settled, let's look at the one from my mom. Hair ties. Can never have enough hair elastics. All right, to the edit.